Hope you all can see the screen. Yes. Yeah, you all can see the screen, I think, right? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, fine. So we are discussing somewhere here. So all these concepts were done. We are discussing on uh, virtual memory. If you look here, virtual memory concepts. So virtual memory, which is like an illusion. You all have might have watched the movie Illusion, right? Have you heard about the movie Illusion? So what was that? Illusion means what? Which was unreal, which is not there and which is not real, but we still feel like it was existing and it was there. Correct. So this virtual memory also, there is no physical existence for this. For this virtual memory also, there was no physical existence of this, but still it's very powerful for us, and it has a lot of impact on the memory management. So let us see how is it impacting on it. So if we see this one here, as we have discussed, the CPU is the one which is going to generate the logical address. So we have two types of addressing here. We have two types of addressing here. One is a logical address. So one is a logical address, and the other one is what? A physical address. So let us say we have a process uh, which is computed by CPU. The CPU is one which is going to generate logical address, as you see here in this block. Okay, if you see in this block here, the CPU is the one which is going to generate the logical address. So once it generated logical address, it will transfer that corresponding logical address to the memory allocation input. Okay, it will give to the memory allocation information. From there on, it will have a translation page. So that corresponding translation page will be given to the memory. This is a secondary memory. So there we have the physical address. Okay. So this is the process where we require the virtual memory. So what this memory management unit MMU is going to do, it will translate the logical address into physical address. So where we have a logical address here in the process, but we need to convert that to its corresponding physical address. So which means the logical address to translate to physical address, we require memory management unit. And this virtual memory manager is a software component uses demand loading. So what is this demand loading? Usually what will happen in terms of normal computing, whenever or wherever you are trying to do the computing, let us say we assume that we have two process P1 and P2. So this process is a bulkier thing. So the complete process will be made into pages. The complete process will be made into pages. For example, process P1 will have page P1, P2, P3. Similarly, process P2 also will have page P1, P2, P3. Okay. So this virtual memory is the one which is going to make the process into pages. Or else, if it is not making like that, the complete process has to get loaded. If the complete process is loading, then it will give the overhead for the memory. So instead of loading complete process, we are loading one by one page of the corresponding process. Let us say I'll give an example to you. You have a corresponding meeting, let us say. Okay. Or you mean to say that when you're studying in your PUC or when you're studying in your boarding school, right? So what will happen? You will stay in hostel or somewhere. Uh, so where your parents can come and visit you. Let us say it can be Saturday or it can be Sunday, right? So if it is Saturday, the classes also will go on parallelly. And sometimes in your PUC's time, the classes will go on for Sunday also. So whenever a parent arrives to the campus, they have to call their corresponding ward or child. Okay. We cannot make every one of them to wait near the lobby. Correct? Whomsoever parent has arrived, they'll tell their name or to say some corresponding number, reference number, roll number, USN number, or whatever. So based on that, they will call their ward in the corresponding classroom. Okay, that will be easy, or everyone will be waiting without any information that they are going to come or not. They don't know. They don't have any communication. Now you have a lot of technology, right? Where where you can see that where you can able to communicate before itself that you're going to come, your parents are going to come this week or next week. In case of your PUC's time, you may not be allowed with mobile phone also, where you have to call using a landline phone or something. Virtually you don't know that they'll be coming this week or next week. Okay, so that's the scenario here. So instead of everyone waiting there, so what this virtual memory mechanism here, what it is going to do is, whichever process is in demand, that corresponding process will be loaded from the hard disk. So this hard disk will have all the process P1, P2, P3, P4. How many processes are there? All this process will be there in the disk. Okay, and now when the CPU is going to demand the process P1, then it will, based on the demand, it will take from this memory. Okay, and what is the problem with this virtual memory? If that corresponding process is waiting in the virtual memory, it can able to pick up. If it is not the case, then we get something called an interrupt. We get something called an interrupt. Let us say that interrupt can be told as a trap. So we'll get a trap, which means it's an interrupt stating that the corresponding operating system has not able to fetch the process from memory. In that case, what the operating system should do? It will initiate an interrupt. The interrupt name is what? Trap. Whenever the interrupt is being initiated, what it will do is it will change the user mode to operating systems mode. We have something like this in your ARM embedded systems, right? So we have user mode and privilege mode, something similar to that. We have user mode and privilege mode, or let us say operating systems will directly change the mode of that from user to privileged. Then this corresponding process can directly contact the hard disk or directly contact this hard disk space and request it for send the corresponding details to memory. Then it will initiate the process. So this is the problem what we have in the virtual memory. If the pages are loaded in the memory, then we can able to access it easily. If the page is not loaded into the memory, the virtual memory cannot able to help in the further process. Okay, so this is the basic idea of the virtual memory. Let us see the basic concepts. What is this concept of comparison of paging and segmentation? Okay, concept. A page is fixed size portion of process address space that it is identified by virtual memory hardware. That is in case of page. So page is what? It's a fixed size, but we can able to identify by using virtual memory. Okay, what about a segment? A segment is a logical entity of a program. Example, function, data structure, or an object. All these are segments, or let us say, are identified by the programmer. These are the segments identified by the programmer. Okay. Now, what is this next one? Size of components. All the pages of same size. Segments may be of different sizes. Segments may have a different sizes, but whereas pages, all the pages should be of same size. And if the page is of same size, then the corresponding frame of that is also in same size. So pages, we call it in terms of what? Frames. Okay. If we are trying to do it in pages, that corresponding page will be stored somewhere in different frame. So always page size and frame size should be same, and segment size can be different. That's what we can understand from second point. Third point, external fragmentation. In external fragmentation, in external fragmentation, what we can able to see, not found in paging because memory is divided into page frames. So we are not able to get the external fragmentation. Okay. But whereas in segmentation, we are going to get the external fragmentation. In case of internal fragmentation, this will occur in the last page. It will not occur in terms of segmentation. And sharing, sharing of pages is feasible, but sharing of segments is not feasible. So based on this comparison, what we understood here is virtual memory can be accessed or can be used by using the concept of paging. By using the concept of paging. You see the example here, management unit MMU will perform the address translation using page table. So this is going to do the memory translation using page table. So we have the effective address which is given by PI and BI as per that. PI indicates the page number and BI indicates the corresponding offset value. If you see the example here, we have a memory, a partition from 0 to 7. In the fifth location, we have something like add instruction. We wrote something like this we have now, out of which we need to pick up that 2 and 480. What is that 2 and 480? 2 indicates the page number. 480 is the offset value. Okay. Somewhere this 2 is being page number. We are keeping that in a different frame. It can be in second frame, it can be in third frame, or it can be in fourth frame. Wherever it is, we are trying to move it in the corresponding different frame. Okay. Similarly here, if you see the value of that corresponding second page, the value is given with 7. Okay. So which means this inside that we have a 7. So where page number 2, we are pointing it. But what is the value of inside that? It is 7, which means page 2 values are stored in frame number 7. So that's the meaning of that. And whereas BI is the offset value will be same for page and for the frame. So that's what this memory management, what it is going to do here. You see the steps here, 1, 2, 3, 4, all that steps here. First step, it will pick up the page number and base index value. First step is done. This is the first step. It is going to pick up the logical address or the page number and the base index value. From there on, we get second step. So page number 2 we got. So page number 2, what is the value? Value is 7. So that 7 value will be taken loaded into the page number 2. That is third step. What is fourth step? Now this corresponding value will be sent to the display in the memory. So this is how it goes on based on this is your called as what? Virtual memory using paging concept. I'll explain you much more detailedly in the tomorrow's class, morning class. We'll have the visualization effect of that and we'll take examples and we'll look into it. Okay. And how this paging is going to have, we have something like this called as some information fields in a page table entry. What they are going to do it, whether it's valid or not, we're going to enter. We're going to enter the frame number. We're going to enter the information of that, anything what we have inside this table. You please look at this table. First one, valid bit indicates whether the page described in the entries currently exist in the memory or not. It is valid or not. First, we are going to check. Yes, it is valid. Then we'll make the entry on the corresponding table. Next, page frame. For example, page 1, page 2, page 3 we have. So all these 3 pages information has to be stored in the form of frames. We can store that in any frame subsequently, and that information also we are going to mention in this field. And we have some other information where we have plot information which indicates how the process may use contents of this page, how it is going to use, whether it's going to use it is for reading, it's going to be useful for writing, or for execution purpose it is using. And there is something called reference info. What this reference info will do, this information concerning references must be made in the page while it is in memory. So the corresponding information of that for reference we are trying to note down in the memory. Further modification, if you have modified it, that information also will be entered into this table. And any other information what we have, you either swapped it or you moved it or you changed it. So all that will be updated here. Okay. And demand paging preliminaries. So preliminaries means what? Basics. So what is the preliminary of that? First one, obtain page number and byte number in the page. Second, look up page table. Third, find the effective memory address. We'll see that with help of an example here. If you see this one here. Now, this is the call. This is your demand loading of a page. Demand loading of a page. So what it says here is very simple. We have uh, four different blocks here. You see this one here. First block is memory. So this block is the memory block. Okay. And whereas this one is memory management unit block. So what this block is going to do is going to convert the logical address from 1 into the physical address in 2. Okay. And after that we have uh, VM manager, which is virtual memory manager. Based on that, we have connected to the corresponding hard disk, so which is given here. So this is the corresponding hard disk. Now what is happening here? Let us understand here. Okay. Yeah. Now we have the memory. From the memory, we have to take up some data and we convert it to a logical address 1. Now from that we have PI and BI. PI is the page number, BI is the offset value, which means uh, PI is 3. In that 3, 682 line it is. Okay, let us say you take notebook. I'll tell you like read page number 4, 7th line. Then I'll give you PI as 4 and BI as 7. 4th page, 7th line. So like that, we're going to give the information. So PI is 3, BI is 682. So third page, the information what you need to get there is 682. BI is 682. Okay, so that's what. And second step is completed. Third page we wrote, right? So page 3, it will point out here. This you can see this here, page 3. Okay. After that, third step here, page 3, actually, if you see there, page 3, it is not existing. If you see in third page, if you see in third page, the corresponding entry is not there. Okay. Valid bit information, it is given. Page frame, it's given. Uh, Miscellaneous information is given, but the corresponding page information is not available there. Okay. So that gives you something called as page fault. So what is the meaning of that is, let us see this example here. Now, if in the process here will call page 1, process 1, page 2. If this corresponding logical space or the CPU is going to call process 1, page 2, it will check up in the memory window. It is available or not. If it is available, it will compute. If it is not available, it will give you the error called as page fault. So this is the error what it is going to give you, which is called as page fault. If the page was available, it will compute that. If the page was not available, it cannot able to compute it. So it's going to give you the page fault. So page fault will occur. So due to the page fault here, now the virtual manager has to come into picture. So what the virtual manager will do, it will find out which all free frames it has. It has finded that sixth frame is free. Sixth frame is free. It understood. Fourth step. Now, fifth step, what it will do? Now it will swap. It will swap the data of the process P2 from the hard disk. Okay, and it will load it to the memory directly, which means now it has changed the mode from user mode to privilege mode, and this VM manager will take the access straight away to the operating system. So straight away, this VM manager is pointing out to the page 6 here. Okay, after that, what happened here? Seventh one, page table will get updated and the value of that will be updated in the VM manager. So this how we have page demanding or page control will happen. So the diagram will explain you much more clearly in the further class. Okay. So next is address translation and page generation. You see here address translation and page generation, how it will happen. Okay. All these concepts were not necessary right now. Okay, so you need to understand only one thing is what? how this paging will be performed, in the uh, at what's the virtual memory. So that we understood. We'll go further. Yeah, how this VM handler is going to work. How this VM handler is going to work. The role of the VM handler is what? Whichever pages are not loaded into the memory, it has to make sure that it will be available during the operation. It's very simple, like you have to give your feedback, let us say. Okay, regular classes, what they used to do, they can make every one of you to go to the lab and make you sit there and they can ask you to give the feedback. In that way we are not able to do the things properly. So instead of that, what they are doing, so first roll number 1 to 10, you go to the lab and give your feedback and come back. When they are coming back, next set of people are going. When they are coming back, next set of people are going. So which means the feedback is taking place but without any disturbance or without any problem. Before, all 60 used to go and all 60 used to come. It is going to create a lot of disturbance, a lot of traffic. Okay, that's what the traditional way of computing it is, how to manage memory. With the help of virtual memory handler or VM management, what it is going to do is whichever pages are in demand, that pages it will take first. Okay, and it will compute that. That will compute the process and further it will load the next pages. Okay, is that clear? So that's how it will be taking place. Now, the problem in virtual management here is virtual memory or VMware here is if the page fault occurs, then the problem it is. Let us say roll number 1 to roll number 10, I have called. Okay, they'll go to the lab and they'll do their work. Now, roll number 9 or roll number 7, someone is absent. That gives you page fault. When something like that, when they are calling 7 and 9, say for example, now these two are not available, that will give to the page fault. Then what the virtual memory has to do is what the problem it is. Okay. To overcome that problem, we have to replace the corresponding pages. So what is the meaning of that? Now 7 and 9, it is not there. They are not there. Now what to do? Replace 7 by 11 and replace 9 by, let us say, 12, for example. So that 10 people can go straight away. So we are not going to waste the time. So that we need to verify whether the 7 and 9 are valid pages or not. If they are valid pages, then you swap them with other pages. So this way we can able to handle the virtual memory. So that's how the virtual memory is going to handle. You can see this here. So page in and page out, what we have here. So page in and page out is the paging mechanism what we use, and we'll replace the corresponding pages which we don't want with the pages which we want. Or to make it straightforward, the pages which are in demand will be swapped with the pages which are not in demand. Okay. Let us say you have A and B section students together in single classroom. Now let us say we are giving preference today for one corresponding class. Either it can be A or it can be B. So based on that, that people will get the priority as of now, as per the USN order or as per the section order, whatever it is. Those people will be given the priority to do the things. Okay. So that's how we can able to replace the pages so that we can able to access the virtual memory in an effective manner. Okay, in this page replacement policy has been done by using two things. It can be done by using first in first out or LRU. Okay, least recently used, or first come first serve. We call it as first in first out. Okay, so these concepts we'll discuss much more clearly in the next class. If any one of you have any doubts in this, you please let me know. If you want, I'll discuss now itself, but if without using a writing pad, if I tell you all these diagrams or all these concepts, it will not get connected to you. Okay. So any one of you have any doubts or any clarifications, you please ask me. For today, what you can do is you can open the file section. Okay. And you look at from here, where from virtual memory basics, you please start reading. Any doubts you have, please ask me. So this all this some extra content is there which is not required, which is there in syllabus only you read as of now. Remaining things we'll see it later part. Okay, yeah, look at this one here, virtual memory basics. From here you start. Let us say from this page 3.6 you start with 3.6. Okay, and this what is relevant to the syllabus you read. Okay, and after that we'll 3.6 to 3.8, so that much you read. And this one we are going to do it in the next class tomorrow morning probably. We have first hour class. I'll deal with that page replacement policies. So we'll see both FIFO and LRU. So with this almost if you complete this process FIFO and LRU, then almost your third module will be completed. Okay, so I request you is what I request you is what is this VM handler, you go through it. If these two and how to you please go through it. If these two and how to what is page replacement policy, you go through three concepts you go through. If you have any queries and questions, you please do ask me. I'll take care of that first. If you do not have any questions and queries, then straight away we'll go with the page replacement policies. It will be very easy and interesting problems. So don't miss in the next class. So you'll get some important questions or problems from this. So which will be very easy to solve in examination and which will fetch you around 10 marks, 12 marks. Okay. So page replacement policies in FIFO and LRU. Right? Yeah, so please, the time what you have left out now, you can please start reading the concepts what you want. So with this note, I would like to end for today's session. So any doubts and queries you have, please bring it to my notice. Any one of you have any doubts and queries? Hello?
Oh, sir.
Yeah, so what you do is you go to module 3. You go to module 3 in the class material file section. OS material module 3, you download this PPT and this 10 minutes or 15 minutes what time you have, right? You please start reading from 3.7 to 3.9. What are doubts you are getting here? You please note it down and please ask me in the next class. So I'll once again explain you in this with the help of a writing pad. I'll give you an best examples to understand the virtual memory. Okay. And after that, we'll straight away begin with the concept of this page replacement policies using FIFO and LRU. Okay, I could not able to use the explanations, so it's okay. Writing pad, I'll use that in the next class and I'll explain you clearly. So we had some network issue here, some technical glitch was there. So I cannot able to connect to the laptop. So anyway, fine, we have done with our discussions, no issues. So next class, so we'll have a fruitful discussion on it. Any queries so far, any doubts? Please confine to virtual memories and start reading them. Is that clear?